Welcome back to the Beyond the Buckets. Happy to have Karlie Samuleson, former Stanford great, WNBA as well as overseas. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I would love to start off with a bang with something that people might not know about you, a quirk that you might have. I think a lot of people have gotten your story over the years, but I want to go a little bit deeper. So tell me something that people don't know really about you.
I'm really into fitness, but I think people know that. But a really fun fact, like it's a slight brag, but I like to tell the fact, is when I was a kid, my parents put me in this free throw competition. It's called the Elks free throw competition. And if you go through like the state level and then regionals and nationals, and if you win, your name gets put in the actual Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. And my older sister and I have both won twice. And so we're second floor near the bathroom. Our names are on a little plaque. I like to say I was in there before Steve Nash got put in there. So that's my fun fact.
Add Hall of Famer to your resume. That's pretty cool. That is a good fun fact. And I'm okay with humble brags like that. Give me a brief 3-minute backstory on you. Like I said, a lot of the listeners will probably know a little bit, but just kind of give some context.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Southern California. I have an older sister and a younger sister. I went to Stanford, played basketball there for Tara Vanderveer, and this is my 4th season overseas. I played in Italy, Belgium, and then my 2nd year here in Spain. And I've been in and out of the WNBA for LA Sparks and Dallas Wings. So yeah, I'm still playing basketball, still loving it.
Awesome. And you said you're playing overseas right now. Tell me what it's been like going through a pandemic overseas. You know, most of your family is probably still back here in California, I assume, and just how everything has been handled over there. Have you guys, are you guys safe or is, we just see so many things on the news, but we don't really know what to believe and all of that. But what has been your experience out there in Spain?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't know what to believe. So I was here last year when, it was at its, the start, and in March when Trump announced like the ban of you couldn't come back to the United States or whatever, and season just ended. And I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know if I was going to be stuck out here or what. So I panic bought a flight and like came home the next day. But that was scary. But, it's nice to be playing again, and the Spanish league is doing a good job of making sure we're safe. Like, we weren't going to start the league or have people over here until we had a set protocol. And we were talking about it a little bit, but the COVID testing here, I'm really glad we're doing it and grateful, because it's important, especially for players that maybe live with their parents here, or you see other people and maybe you have kids and stuff. But the COVID testing is aggressive, but it's necessary. So I'm glad we're doing it.
Absolutely. And do you guys have fans in the stands as well?
Yeah, we actually haven't played tomorrow is our first home game, and they're letting like, I think a little less than 50% capacity, which is unfortunate because the fans here, I played here last year in Salamanca, Spain. The fans in this gym are like unbelievable. It's so awesome. Like season ticket holders, like they're crazy. So they're letting some people in, which is nice.
Bring it back to the Poly Pavilion days, I assume.
Yeah.
So, living in Spain, is there do you speak Spanish at all, or do you speak, a different language, or how do you maneuver during the day on a day-to-day basis?
Sí, yo hablo un poquito español, pero
así.
Así. No, I need to try harder, speak a little more, but I can understand almost everything except when like the girls are talking really fast to each other or the coach is mad. And when the coach is mad yelling about someone, this is something you really want to understand, but I can't understand it. But no, getting around and everything. I took 5 years of Spanish, in California when I was younger. So I will say I wish it was better, but I can, live here like comfortably with that.
Definitely. And you get to play with your younger sister, so that must be pretty cool. You play with your older sister at Stanford. So tell me what that's been like. At least you have, somebody that is a best friend, obviously a family member along with you for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't played with Katie Lou, my younger sister, the first time in 7 years, because we played together in high school. And I still, in college and in pro career, we never met up. I never got to play against her either. So I'm glad, the first time we get together is together on the same team. But it's been good. I was here last year and I loved it. And so when we got the chance to sign together, I was like, for sure it's going to be a blast. And I'm excited for her to actually, have a season where she can enjoy overseas and see what she can do and show what she can do. So I'm really excited to see how it goes.
Definitely. I want to know what those one-on-ones were like with your older sister as well as your younger sister and you. And then you could probably even throw your dad in the mix because he was a professional basketball player as well. And I believe he played at Cal State Fullerton. So, and maybe your mom might have even been the best athlete in the family. But what was it like for you growing up in that environment? I can imagine just so competitive. I just tell me about that. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I give all the credit to everything in my basketball career to my parents, because without them, we wouldn't be here where we are today, me and my sisters. So they took us to every practice. My dad taught us all how to shoot. When we didn't want to go get up shots, he made us. And, I'm grateful for it because I can shoot. And that's why I am where I am in my career. But yeah, those one-on-one games were some serious business. I'll tell you that. Katie Lou, the little one, who's not so little, she's like this tall now, but yeah. She got beat down, since she was little, but I think that's why she's so good. But yeah, backyard games, we played a lot of one-on-ones, and that's fun. That brings me back actually thinking about that.
Who got the best of that matchup?
I like to say myself, I think I'm the toughest. I ended up the shortest one. I'm the middle. My older sister get me. My younger sister's like really talented. So good. But I try to put her in a place and show her who's boss. So I like to say I won most.
That's
of them,
great to hear. I love the confidence. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else from a competitor, especially growing up in that family. Do you have any funny stories about one time it maybe got out of hand?
I mean, plenty of times it got out of hand, but funny story. No, we had at our before we moved in our house when we were younger, we had a little hoop in the backyard, and I think one time like someone got so mad they tried to throw the ball at someone and it went straight over to the other yard and shattered a door, I think. So yeah, good times though. It's all in good fun. You learn.
For sure. I guess they probably sent your dad the bill.
Exactly. Yes. Sent my dad right over. Sorry.
Yeah. Tell me about playing with your older sister at Stanford, Bonnie. She was a little bit older than you, but just tell me about that relationship and how it was cultivated and why you wanted to go play with her when you got to college.
Yeah. I think my decision to go to Stanford, I like to say maybe it was 50-50. My older sister's there and I like to be comfortable and I'm really close with her. And then of course it's Stanford, like basketball and academics. It's a great place. So being there, my first 2 years there, I got with her. It's so nice to first time being away from home and being with her. And she welcomed me with open arms, and I loved playing with Bonnie. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever watched her play, but she was done after college, but she was a cannon, man. Like she would trail the play and just shoot that three. I loved playing with her. She was so fun to play with.
For sure. I definitely remember. I live not too far from Stanford, so
yeah, that's right.
We would definitely come out and check the games. And I definitely seen you fill up the stat sheet from behind the arc too. So it's always good to actually chat with you and just kind of see some of the background of how you became you. And so many people see the prolific shooting and the scoring and going to such a prestigious university. But what were some of the struggles that you had growing up? Because everybody, if they're not on the inside, they don't really know what you actually go through or the pain and turmoil to try to get to where you got to, because it does come with a high level of sacrifice. And most of the people, whether they're, athletes, young athletes, and I coach girls basketball, they don't really understand the work ethic and the sacrifices that you have to make in order for you to be as good as you were or as good as you are. So tell me about some of the tough times or just some of the struggles that you had growing up and trying to attain this such high goal.
Yeah, and like I was just talking about, so grateful to have parents that push me and my sisters to be the best that we could be in the sport and, sacrifice their time, money, and energy to put us into basketball and let us play on these teams. But yeah, like you said, it's a lot of sacrifice. And growing up, we really shot the ball every single day. And I mean, that's why we're such good shooters. As my dad, told us every day, you got to get up your shots. We had the same routine all the time. A little late. Ready?
Okay.
We good?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying a struggle for me personally, but like I was talking about before, I'm very grateful to have my parents to put me in all the right positions and to take me and to push me to be the best I can be. But a personal struggle is to be confident on the court and confident in myself. And I know that does come naturally to some people and others have to work on it. And I'm a person that I think it maybe comes with being a middle child, maybe, but I'm someone that has to constantly work on being confident and in my game and even off the court and a lot of things. So what I've learned through college and as a pro is to trust the work that I put in because I worked for this. I know that I'm a hard worker. So why hold myself back on the court? You know, like trust the work you put in and feel it in yourself because sometimes you're the only one holding yourself back. And that's something that I still struggle with, but that's what I'm learning to work on as I get older.
Wow, I appreciate the vulnerability. And that's something that I see on a day-to-day basis when it comes to coaching athletes, but in particular female athletes. I think it's very important to instill that confidence as a coach, or if you don't have that person that is instilling it in you, trying to find a way to manifest that individually. I can look at a player and I can think, he or she is so good. But until that player actually starts to realize that you're good and you put the work in, then you can start to translate that to better performance on the court. And that's one thing that I've always tried to do as a coach, but I'm still continuing to learn, like how to put what I see in somebody else and let them go out there and perform to the best of their abilities. It's a really tricky thing. Was there anybody that was able to help you with that along the way?
Yeah, and a lot of people, my parents, my coaches. I played for Kevin Kiernan at Mater Dei, phenomenal coach. Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is, and then Tara Vanderveer, of course. But I have maybe people have. I was lucky enough to have people to instill that confidence in me, and tell me, you're putting in the work, you got it. But like you said, it is tricky to like really believe it yourself, and it's a lot of self-talk and that you don't put pressure on yourself, like sometimes as a shooter specifically too, like, oh, I got to make threes because that's what I'm supposed to do. And if I don't make threes, I had a bad game. Right. Well, no, you can contribute in a lot of other ways. So it's just thinking about the whole. And yeah, I'm aspiring to be a coach as well. And I can see that is very tricky. Like you believe in someone, like you can see the work they're putting in and like, mentally they just got to let themselves go out and play, but it is tricky.
For sure. And I've seen it both ways where it actually does help when you are trying to, put that confidence in them. And I've seen it the other way where it doesn't actually work. And sometimes, you can't really manifest it, even if you really want it so bad as a coach. And even if they want it as a player, but something just doesn't click. You talked about Kevin. Tell me about some of the lessons you learned from him. I guess you must have been reading my mind because that was the next question I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, I give a lot of credit to my parents and the coaches that I played for. Russ Davis for Swish and Vanguard, and yeah, Kevin Kiernan in high school. I played for Kevin for 1 year because I transferred to Mater Dei my senior year. And man, like I thought that I was a hard worker. You think you're a hard worker until you learn how to work hard. Like in practice, full court press, you have to do everything right and hard. And he just pushes you to that next level. And in high school, I really hadn't seen that yet. And defensively specifically too, because, you can go out there and shoot a lot of shots and play good on offense in high school. But I think it was a great stepping stone for me before college was playing for someone that holds you to that high of a standard.
Wow, I love it. And tell me a little bit about playing for Tara and, your experience there.
Man, I was nervous to come in and play for such a good coach, a Hall of Fame coach. But she is unbelievable. She is someone that really, I think, is a reason that I want to be a coach in the future. And her love for the game, her detail to the game. I've never seen someone do so much scouting. Like we knew the other team better than they knew themselves, I think. But just discipline I learned from Tara. And even like when you're on the court and you're ready for practice, like it's business. It's everything is efficient. You got to run to your water. you do everything. I guess you can just say it's a strive for excellence in everything you do, like the smallest things as well. And that adds up to something that can be great later on. Like, of course, there's going to be ups and downs. Like we had, quite a few losses once we graduated, like Chene Agumake graduated, like a lot of our All-Americans graduated. We weren't the most talented team, but my senior year at least, but we won and we lost some bad ones too, but we ended up at the Final Four, and each game we were down at least 15 in the tournament, and we grinded it and won. But I think that just shows what we learned as a crew, like through Tara, through our 4 years there, like, just trust the work you put in and like keep grinding.
You might have just mentioned that, like you said, trust in the work, but what would be one life lesson that you learned from both of them?
Both coaches?
Yep.
From Kevin, I would say, like the heart, like you will get, let me put this into words. Doing the dirty work and doing the hard things and the hard work will benefit you in the long run. Kind of similar to Tara too, but he always gave out like the hustler of the week or something like that. Like you got praised for charges, for diving on the ball, and he gave that award every week. And I haven't really seen a lot of coaches, at least in the high school time around when I was there, do that. So I love that about him. Like if you put in the hard work, you'll be rewarded later on. And life lesson from Tara is just whatever you want to do, have passion in it and strive for excellence in that, because why do it if you're not going to do it with passion? Like this, you could be doing anything. I was going to say half-ass. Sorry if I cuss you, but you could do anything like that.
You could say whatever you want on this podcast.
Yeah, but then you're not putting your whole heart into it. What's the point?
Wow. I love that. Two Hall of Famers as well. I don't know if Kevin's in there yet, but he definitely will, as one of the winningest coach in California girls basketball history. And obviously Tara, just an amazing coach. She's been coaching over 35 years, I believe. And just what she's been able to, do at Stanford, where there was nothing before her, right? And just to put Stanford on the map, and just the number of recruits that she's getting still to this day, they still want to go and play for her. But tell me some of the hard times. Like, did you understand their mindset or what they were trying to give you during the time you were playing, or did that come later? For a lot of people, that I coach, as they get older, and even as I start to see what my parents were trying to form like early on, but I didn't really understand in the moment. I just knew that they wanted this to happen, and I didn't know why. But now you look back like, oh, okay, I understand now. Did you know during, or did you find out, after you had graduated and left?
I would say like it almost came full circle. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your video's out, but you can keep going.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't think my Wi-Fi connection is the greatest. But I would say it came full circle to me in my 4 years of college. Because my first 2 years, definitely not. I did not see it while it was happening. I was like, why am I not playing more? Why is this not going right for me? I was looking at, like, well, this person's doing this. Well, this person isn't doing this. But I wasn't looking, just at myself. And maybe I was getting, she's on me for different things. But I'm like, well, you're not yelling at her for this. But, that diverts from you getting better. And, my first 2 years, I'm a hard worker for sure. And I'm coachable and I take what's given to me. But, you learn, like I said, again, once you get to another level, you learn what hard work is. You think you're working hard until you learn how to work hard and you're with other people that are working hard. So I think once I got into my senior year, I was like, okay, like I got to do the best I can do to be the best player I can be, which then makes the team the best they can be. It's not about what this player's doing. It's not about like what she's not doing. Like, of course you want to compete and get playing time, but at the end of the day, you are you, and you can do the best you can do if you're focused on yourself. So that's what I learned. And I think that came full circle to me in college.
I love that point of view because it's basically self-awareness. You finally become aware of yourself and what you need to do and what you need to take care of. If you're able to do that, then you can play the way you're capable of. Um, but so many times you're focused on what everybody else is doing, or they're not being disciplined the same way. So why do I? But that isn't the standard that you want to set for yourself if you're always focused on others.
Yeah, exactly. And I was watching, have you watched The Playbook on Netflix?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I loved the Doc Rivers episode. I mean, I loved all the episodes, but Ubuntu, what he was talking about,
Ubuntu.
with his Celtics team. Yes, yes. I just love that. It's like, you know, you are all you can be. If they are all they can be, so then we are all we can be. It's if they're the best they can be, it lifts everybody up. But I love that.
And the funny thing is, like, if you think about success, it's really, really difficult. Kevin, I think, has won 6 state championships. Tara's only won 2 national championships, like in 1990 and 1992. And people don't understand that success doesn't mean always winning the championship. You can still have a lot of success, which obviously both of them have more success than most people. But that's a real perspective. And Doc just obviously got fired from the Clippers, but he's still a great coach, super successful, and he's transformed so many lives. And that's what's even more important than what he's been doing on the court.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was just going to say the impact that coaches have on their players' lives off the court and throughout their life is the real meaning of success, just like you said.
Definitely. Tell me a little bit about you furthering your education. You said you played for Russ, and God bless him. I hope he is able to beat his cancer right now. Russ Davis, the head coach at Vanguard, super influential in the women's basketball game. He put together a bunch of coaching clinics throughout this COVID period that were free, and he brought on, everywhere from Gino to Tara to anybody you could think of in the women's game. Tell me what it was like working with him, because I think you were an assistant coach or something, and you got your master's that I read. So tell me about that, furthering your own education.
Yeah, I played for Russ. I've known Russ since I was, like 12 and 13. I played for him, Cal Swish, his club team, and he's another person that has had a huge impact on me. And like you said, thoughts and prayers with Russ. I think he's fighting his cancer as hard as possible now. But yeah, he taught me again about hard work and discipline. I coached him at Vanguard my first year out of college, and he is a great coach. Like, you want to be the best you can be, he can get you there. And yeah, that was a great experience. But yeah, I got my master's actually online at Concordia University in coaching and exercise science. So that was a summer course that I was overseas, like nothing to do on my off day. So I was like, might as well start something online. But yeah, I think it's important to keep up with education, and I am aspiring to be a coach like you, and I've had all these great mentors as coaches, so I wanted to get my master's to get myself a head start now.
There's no doubt you're going to be an absolute great coach when you end your playing career. You could just already tell you got great energy and enthusiasm, and obviously know the game. Have been coached by some of the best around. So whenever you're done playing in like 10 years, I'm sure you could jump on any bench and be ready to go.
Thank you.
But we're getting a little glitchy, so I kind of want to wrap things up before. But tell me about this fitness journey that you're on right now. I clicked on your Instagram, and you got this whole fitness page, and figuring out different workouts throughout the COVID, I think has been a big thing for a lot of people. I know for myself, like today I did all band work where it's no weights. You're just finding different ways to be fit. And as I have 2 kids, and as you get older, you want to maintain your wellness for a long period of time, because you just can't take that stuff for granted. But tell me about your fitness journey, and just anything that you want to comment on that.
Yeah, you know, I had that Fit with Karlie Instagram page like a year before COVID happened, and it's just super fun for me. I love making the workouts, and it was mostly just to share with my friends. And then, you know, unfortunately, COVID came, and we were all stuck at home, and everyone was posting home workouts. So I was like, "No, here's mine." It was just fun to make and fun to share with people. But in terms of like my fitness journey myself, after college, I really found that I love like working out. It like really brings me joy to like health distraction from maybe if I'm feeling anxious to something or anything like that. It like really makes me feel good. And I like to share with my family and just with anyone who follows me is, you know, being active is personal to you. Like being active doesn't mean you have to go run 5 miles or do this workout, or anything counts as activity. Like you can go walk your dogs, you can play tennis, like anything that makes you happy and is keeping your body moving is healthy for your body. And so that's what I think fitness is, just personalized and anything that makes you feel good. And I like to share that with my parents, with my sisters. But yeah, I just love it. I love that off the court. And that's one of the joys I find is helping people, you know, find any workouts that they will enjoy doing.
I like the fact that you just said doing what you need for your own body, and that's just moving. For however you do it, just move a little bit daily, and you're going to start to see those things. And that's something I'm very passionate about as well, and in health and wellness and just nutrition. It is all for the good. So I want to end by top 5 shooters on the women's game all time. You can put yourself in there if you think you're
Oh
one of the top
man.
5. You could probably put modern day as the whole list. But to give me top 5 women, female shooters of all time.
Of all time. Okay, you're gonna have to give me a second. Let's think about this. Um, well, first I'm gonna say Katie Lou, my sister. I will put her up there. I love watching her shoot. Um, Man, I gotta say Brianna Stewart just is so pure anywhere on the court. Beautiful. Um, I gotta say Maya Moore too. Like she can make a shot anywhere. I love watching her shoot as well. Um, I also gotta say I'll say these two from college. Man, Kelsey Plum, couldn't stop her in college, and Sydney Weiss. They were unstoppable in college as on the 3-point line. Like I think we beat Washington one time by 1 point, and we ran out of there because Kelsey Plum dropped 40 on us, and we were like, "Yeah,
I
we'll take the
remember
win. We
that.
gotta go."
I remember that.
Yeah,
You,
but
you almost
there
put
are
a,
some phenomenal shooters, but these are just the ones on my mind.
you almost put the whole UConn team on there. Um,
Yeah.
Last couple of things. How do we, or let me just paint this picture. What does legacy mean to you?
Hmm. I think we talked about a little bit about like what success means as a coach or success for anyone in life. I think it just means your impact that you leave on people. And it's almost like this can be in any little interactions, like how do you leave that person feeling when you just spoke to them? You know, it's so what am I doing in my career that can change the lives of those who want to do what I'm doing too? Or how can I, you know, any other little girls that want to play basketball and you know, maybe they struggle with self-confidence or they don't know what they want to do in life, but they know they love to play basketball. You know, what can I do to help them figure out, you know, what they can do through what they love? So I think legacy is just leaving an impact, a positive impact, and opportunities for those that can follow.
Wow. You need to put that in a book. That was really good. I'm going to clip that out. That was actually really good. Last question. If there's somebody that should come on the Beyond the Buckets to talk about not just hoops, but, you know, life and fitness and all of that sort of stuff, who would it be and why?
Oh man, I mean, I just said her name, but Sydney Weiss, she's my girl. I love her, and if anyone that speaks to her, she is just most genuine person on the court. She's a baller, obviously for the Sparks, but and getting to know her when we played together, she just is a really really great person. So she'd be one.
Well, I'm going to have you make that connection. So I'm going to hold you to that. But I really appreciate your time. You're just a ray of light, and just have a great energy to you. It was good getting to know you a little bit, and I hope we stay in contact because you're a great person. And I didn't get to furthering the women's game, but you're somebody that is definitely gonna help further the women's game. So thank you for all that you're doing and continuing to do, and just helping young ladies become their best selves with their confidence.
Yeah, thank you for having me on and for telling these stories. It's awesome.
No problem.
Thank you for listening to the Beyond the Buckets podcast. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and share the show with your friends. And until next time, take care.